Oklahoma living on the edge just a little bit. Still finding a way to get it done. 31-29 over UCF. There's a lot to take away from this game. People are going to look at this game and say, well, was Oklahoma fraudulent? Well, was that game in Red River? Was that real? Was that real? Is Dillon Gabriel really that guy? Is the Oklahoma defense actually all that? Like, we're going to talk about it. I think with a spot like this, we got to kind of pump the brakes a little bit, use the proper context, take a look at this matchup, and just sort of take it for what it's worth. So we'll do that right now, but first things first, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Listen, you love college football. We love college football. You appreciate this game the way that we appreciate this game. We're not here for hot takes. We're not here for agendas. Like, we're here to talk about the sport and celebrate the sport and have a good conversation back and forth and give you analysis, but we're not here to do anything extra. All right? So if that's the kind of content you like to see, make sure you're subscribed. Best way to stay up in real time with this channel outside of subscribing is follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JD Piquel. Great way to stay up with what we got going on here on the Hard Count. So like I was saying, people everywhere are going to say Oklahoma's fraudulent. They're not this, they're not that. They got it for Texas, but then they go back and play UCF and they don't have the juice. It's like, okay, one, let's calm down. Let's take a chill pill, glass of water, couple of chill pills, maybe double dose. Good? You all right? Cool. Let's talk about it. This was the perfect recipe for this game to go this way for Oklahoma. And outside of the spot, because the spot was brutal, was a letdown after Red River, huge emotional win. You have the bye week to try and kind of get right, but still, like, you play UCF, and UCF, they're a conference opponent now, but, like, they're not going to be next year because you joined the SEC. And UCF, they were group of 5 not that long ago. Like, are they really going to be able to hold a candle to what we're bringing to the table here? So the spot was tricky, but even more so, the elite offensive mind of Gus Malzahn is the head coach for UCF. He's got a quarterback who's a dual threat in John Rice Plumlee. And we saw them score points yesterday. And outside of the scoring point side of things, I think it was the way they scored points. Like, going back to what Gus Malzahn brings to the table, he is, in my opinion, so difficult for this Brent Venables defense because what they did yesterday was a lot of misdirection, a lot of movement pre-snap, a lot of option stuff that kind of got Oklahoma flowing one way, then back the other way. Like, it was exactly the perfect offense and really, quite frankly, one of the best games for Gus Malzahn and this offense against this aggressive Oklahoma defense. Like, they took advantage of that aggression. So credit Gus Malzahn and credit UCF for their game plan. But even so, like, I think at the end of the day, Oklahoma is still Oklahoma, and we saw them find a way to bow up and get this thing done. And, like, Oklahoma, to that same token, like, they didn't really help themselves in this game at multiple points. Like, it wasn't a thing where UCF just rolled in there and they were clearly the better team and overpowered them and just won their matchups. Like, Oklahoma, some field goals, poor coverage at times, freak interception where Dillon Gabriel puts it out in front of his receiver, it gets tipped up in the air, and then it's going the other way. Like, just stuff that if you're Oklahoma, you can't have if you want to win the Big 12 and you want to round into a college football playoff team. But even so, found a way to get it done. Like I said at the top of this segment, said the same thing about Texas and their letdown spot against Houston. Something to be said for finding a way to win a football game when it's very, very clearly not your day and the other team is bringing it and having their day. I don't think we saw a team get exposed yesterday. I think what we saw was a year 2 football team, a year 2 staff under Brent Venables figuring out how to respond and handle success and find a way to win a football game in a letdown spot. They're still learning how to win. We said it earlier in the week. It was one of our questions going in was like, how will Oklahoma handle now the script around them being flipped? Because before last year, it was Oklahoma 6-7, defense is no good. We're all poking fun at everyone in Norman, and we're all laughing about Brent Venables, and he's not the right guy in Norman, and talking about, you know, what if Josh Heupel ends up being the guy in Norman eventually, and he's killing at Tennessee? Like, could Oklahoma get him? Like, all that conversation was so premature, but it was also so negative around Oklahoma. And now, after the way that they beat Texas, and Dillon Gabriel throws himself into that Heisman conversation, everyone's expecting all these things of Oklahoma. Y'all, it's the same team. Same team from a season ago that is going into this season and progressed a ton, so I don't want to say it's the same team from that regard, but I just want to say it's the same operation that is figuring out how to win football games. And they're really talented. I still love the way they're built. I still love Dillon Gabriel. I still love what they got from a skill player perspective. I still love what they have defensively and the way they get after people. Didn't make some plays yesterday, kind of got caught with some, quite frankly, just busted assignments yesterday and got taken advantage of with aggression. We talked about that, but I still like the way this car is built. I don't think you sell Oklahoma stock because they had a tough letdown spot against UCF after the bye. Now, the beautiful part about this for Oklahoma, you get to watch this tape today being undefeated and not saying, man, is this going to throw us out of the college football playoff, our loss to UCF? You're not talking about it in a loss because you didn't lose. So there's something, again, to be said for finding a way to get it done. Now, I'll also say this. A win like this, gritty, tough, down to having to stop a two-point conversion if you're Oklahoma, you can make it mean as much for you as you allow it to. And what I mean by that is when you reassess this tape today, there's two options. The first is option A, where you say, man, we got to tighten up. Y'all, I don't know what happened during the week. I don't know what happened when we rolled off the bus that day, but we got to fix that. We got to bring it in a different way these coming weeks if we want to be Big 12 champs. Has to happen. Have to tighten up. That's option A. Option B is relief. Okay, glad we got through that one. We still feel good about who we are. We know we beat Texas. We're still that team. Hey, as long as we're that team, and we reassured ourselves we're that team with the way that we beat UCF and still finding a way to stay undefeated, hey, we're good. Bring on the next opponent. You see what's wrong with that second option? It's not an effort to get better. It's an effort to just remind yourself that you beat Texas. That's not what Oklahoma wants to do. I promise you, Brent Venables and this staff, they're going to make sure that option A is what's bought into. The growth mindset that, hey, found a way to win. I hope you don't think that's good enough to go undefeated the rest of the way. So I'm excited to see how they respond. I'd be very surprised if they don't respond with an effort to evolve, to grow, and to tighten up and kind of have that sense of urgency from a game like this and to keep on charging towards Jerry World. I'd be surprised if Oklahoma's not favored in every game they play in the rest of the way. But still, found a way to get it done. Survive in advance. Let down spot. No exposure here. No fraudulent talk. Just a team that's figuring out now how to win week in and week out in different situations. And they did just that. Make sure you're dialed in right here. Want y'all right here. Talking ball every single day, live 3 times a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern is our full hour-long live show. But again, there's just constantly content, whether it's from that live show or from just one-off videos like this coming your way on the On3 YouTube channel via this show, The Hard Count. All right? We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.